published, 6:26 EST, January 27, 2018, updated, 13:49 EST, January 28, 2018, saying that life has taken a turn for the better for Caroline Wozniacki in the last couple of months does not really cover it. First, the 27-year-old Dane got engaged to former NBA star David Lee during an off-season holiday in November, and now she is, at last, the Grand Slam champion she always dreamed of becoming. All the sweeter is that it came after a grueling, high-stakes Australian Open final. It crackled with intensity and was among the best of recent years, featuring men or women, and Melbourne Park has seen some good ones of late. Caroline Wozniacki is the new champion of the Australian Open after coming through an epic encounter versus Simona Halep. The number 2 seed becomes the first Danish tennis player to win a Grand Slam tournament with her Australian Open win. Halep appeared to be in discomfort throughout the final, but still came within one break of serve from winning the title. Wozniacki will return to the top of the WTA ranking 6 years after she last did, the longest gap in the history of tennis. Wozniacki kisses the Australian Open trophy as she is presented with it following her epic victory over Halep in Melbourne. The Dane then shared a kiss with her fiancé, former NBA star David Lee, in the locker room alongside her new trophy. Wozniacki held her nerve to defeat Simona Halep 7-6, 3-6, 6-4 in 2 hours and 49 minutes of gripping combat, with the result in doubt right until she fell to the floor in sobbing delight. It completed a remarkable turnaround from a week last Wednesday, when she had trailed little-known Croatian Jana Vet 5-1, 40-15 in a deciding set and had to fend off 2 match points. Now she was tackling one of the most loaded championship matches ever in women's tennis, the world #1 spot at stake, a winner's purse of £2.3 million and, most importantly, the chance to be a Grand Slam champion. Wozniacki, right, returns to #1 exactly 6 years after relinquishing the position, a record gap in women's tennis. For both players, it offered an escape route from the status of being a slamless world #1. Halep is to continue living with that, while Wozniacki, so often the nearly woman, is free. I'm just proud I will never hear you were #1 but never won a Grand Slam again, said the Dane, who less than 18 months ago had seen her ranking fall to 74 after various ailments. After 2 lost major finals, it looked like she might be the perennial bridesmaid. All I could tell myself was, you know what, you've given it everything you have. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, she said. I think you always, at certain points, especially when you start having injuries and stuff, you start maybe doubting if you're ever going to be 100% healthy for longer periods of time. But I think for a year and a half, I've proved that I can beat anyone out there on court. But when you're in the finals, I'm not going to lie, I was really nervous before going out there. Wozniacki and Halep pose with the elected coin tosser at the net ahead of the Australian Open women's singles final. Wozniacki got off to a great start in the first set as she sealed the first break of the match to take an early lead over Halep. Halep initially struggled to find her rhythm and allowed Wozniacki an early advantage in the first set of the match. The tournament's #2 seed Wozniacki celebrates after sealing the first set in a closely contested tie-break in Melbourne. It was a family affair for Wozniacki after the match as she posed for photos with her fiancé and her father Piotr. She succeeds her friend Serena Williams as champion, and the American was quick to tweet congratulations. She was apparently too nervous to watch. So happy. Are those tears? Yep, they are. From a year ago to today, I'm so proud, my friend, so proud, she said. It was Williams who invited her on a girls' holiday to Miami in 2014 after Rory McIlroy had broken off their engagement. Right now there may well be a sense of happy ever after for both women. Later that year, Wozniacki decided to run in the New York Marathon to focus her mind on something and recorded an impressive time of 3 hours and 26 minutes, only 37 minutes longer than this final. She has always had a natural durability as an athlete, and rarely has that been more important than in this match, played in steaming heat. That was a key difference between the pair, especially as Halep has contended with foot and ankle problems over the fortnight. Wozniacki deals with the humid conditions with an ice-filled towel during a break between games at Melbourne Park. Halep of Romania takes a medical timeout between games in the women's final with a physio taking her blood pressure. The Romanian appeared to be struggling with discomfort in her stomach but still managed to win the second set. The last touches of sunlight can be seen on the horizon as the players continue in front of a packed arena in Melbourne. Halep walks off the court as the heat rule comes into effect to give both players a 10-minute break following the second set. Not for the first time, time, medical timeouts called by both players turned out to be of significance. Halep called one at 2-3 in the second set to have her blood pressure taken because she was feeling ill. She came out afterwards and romped home to the second set with renewed purpose as the Dane lost some of her focus. There then followed a 10-minute break, under WTA heat rules, allowing for the players to physically regroup. The next 3 games took 34 minutes. It was no surprise that there were some brilliant rallies between these two excellent movers, and at 4-3 Wozniacki seemed to be flinching at a breakdown. She called the trainer on to administer strapping to the knee and then came back to win the next 3 games and the title. The hiatus came before her opponent's serve, although the gracious Halep did not have any complaints later. She was better, she was fresher, said the Romanian, who is to undergo a series of MRIs. I was really tired. I had so many problems at my feet, pain everywhere. But, you know, I think I did pretty well with all the things that were going on. The final points count was 110-108, with each player having 5 breaks of serve. The match statistics were almost identical on both sides of the ledger, adding a certain cruelty to the result. Wozniacki of Denmark required her own medical timeout after going a breakdown in the third and final set of the match. Halep continued to struggle with discomfort but still managed to stay competitive in the third and final set of the match. Wozniacki falls to the floor in tears after sealing her first Grand Slam title that will see her return to world number 1. Halep holds the runners-up trophy after losing to Denmark's Wozniacki in the Australian Open final in Melbourne on Saturday.